How you doing, folks? It's Troy here. Wanted to share a product with you that I've had for about 12 months. It's called the Stewart's Manufacturing Co. Speedy Stitcher. They're also known as a sewing awl, which is a pretty fitting name because the needles that they use are extremely strong and pretty good for making holes in things. I've had this for about 12 months and I've used it to do a few modifications to a few of my packs and also perform a few repairs here and there when required. It's not the kind of item that you'll use every day, but if something breaks in the field, I'd put it to you that this is a really great little device to have with you to be able to perform a field repair. So everything that you need to do any stitching is in this device. It contains the needles, the bobbin, the thread, and the body of it is what you use to do your pushing. So I'll give you a bit more of a look at it. Down this end you have a bobbin that has this waxed thread. There's other threads available. I've got a fairly heavy waxed one. It goes around this pin which you use for tensioning when you're doing the stitching process, and then up this end the thread comes out of a hole here, and you've got your needles which are also contained in some of these little holes. I've got a heavy straight needle and a heavy bent needle, so the needles go in the end like that. Then you take your thread, thread goes through the eye of the needle, put your thread back through the front, like so. Put your end back on and you're ready for stitching. There's a gentleman on YouTube who's done a pretty in-depth video on the stitching process with this. What I can tell you is that it's really not hard, and once you've done it once or twice you'll remember it forever. Essentially though, it's you stab this into your material, you then pull out the required length to do the stitch, then you pull it back, then poke it through another hole and then thread that through. But there's a lot better explanation of that on another video. This design, I believe, the company's been producing these since 1908. Looking at this design, I don't think it's probably changed much over the years, but it probably hasn't needed to, because it just works and does what it needs to do, and it does a very good job of it. So yeah, that's the Stewart's Speedy Stitcher. The item's worth about $30 Australian. I'm not sure if you can get it much cheaper over there. I think it was about $30 US as well. I might be wrong on that. Go and have a look. Prices change all the time, no doubt. Yeah, but very good little thing to have in your pack, and I just like the way it all sort of packs up and becomes a really nice little contained kit that's easy to just chuck in a small spot. I'll give you a look at some stitching that I've done with it. I modified my Proteus a long time ago. What I did was I shortened the waist strap, but I wanted to retain the buckles in case I ever wanted to use them in the future, and I just cut those off and then used my Speedy Stitcher to perform a stitch like that to stitch the buckle back on. On this side you can see the stitch, and you can see where I cut and did some melting. Pretty ordinary job of the melting, but who cares. So that was so this webbing really, as soon as you cut this webbing, it really froze so easily, so you got to get put a really nice melt on there, otherwise it'll just keep coming. But yeah, there's the stitch there that I performed, and on the reverse side too, that's all done in one motion. That's the opposite side that I was talking about. So yeah, a good little device. You saw the space that it took up. It just goes in the front of a Triad admin pouch, packs up nice and small, so pretty easy to find a little location for something that small. Yeah, I thought it was well worth having. Thanks guys, I'll catch you later. See ya.